Good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Hey, if you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe to the video for new content, for more content like this. And we just joined the journey with me, but I appreciate you for taking time, man. But listen, Cowboys Nation, we're finally going against some true adversity now. We're missing some of our key guys, but the train must continue, and we have a big stretch of games this week. But this big game this week versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. This is a solid team we're going up against, so let's get into what we would be facing, and let's get into the scouting report, man. I'm doing something a little different, man. So listen, let's start with the team, man. Obviously, this is a well-coached team. Coached by Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, who has never had a losing season. He's a galvanizer. He knows how to scheme, defensive minded. I really respect this coach, man. Honestly, he's a long tenured coach. Mike Tomlin record versus Mike McCarthy. He currently leads 4-1. In that, the only win that McCarthy has is the Super Bowl win, the Super Bowl XLV. Mike Tomlin, his philosophy, he's gonna coach his guys to be physical. He's gonna coach his guys to be disciplined. He's gonna coach his guys to do all the small things. And yeah, right now he's dealing with a young team. Watching the film, they do a lot of young team things, having blunders and stuff like that. I would say his whole MO and philosophy is to muddy the games up, making an ugly game, not appealing to the casual fan eye, but just a lot of close range, value in every down, which I preach, on a daily. But he's taking it to the extreme because of the talent he has around him and the situation he has. And I believe this team loves to play keep away too. So they're gonna be trying to complete passes, short passes, run the ball, etc. But yeah, let's get right into the offense, man. As you know, Justin Fields is leading this helm. He's leading this charge. Previous Chicago Bears quarterback, didn't get the contract. Found new life here in Pittsburgh under the structure of Tomlin. I appreciate that. One thing I noticed, they got him he's a game manager, man. He is managing the hell out of games. I don't mean that in a mean way. Some quarterbacks are just like that, but they are really simplifying the game for him. A lot of they've added some of the college scheme, the RPOs, one reads, dinking and dunking. They're just really simplifying the games. I think they're really emphasizing, keeping down the turnovers. This is not a very explosive team, honestly. To be honest, the only explosive player they really have, George Pickens, and then there's one more receiver, is slot. But also, I'm gonna get into it later, but this offensive line is riddled. I don't even think riddle is the key word here. I think they are shredded with injuries. I'm talking about they had a first round pick as a tackle. I think it was Fatuano. I'm blanking on his name, but he's hurt, and the guy that replaced him, he's hurt. It is multiple positions on the offensive line where they're hurt. As you know, like I said, they like to keep it simple for Justin Fields. Justin Fields' legs can hurt you. So we can't allow his playmaking to take life. And the QB design runs, man, they can be very dangerous, man. So yeah, heading right over into the defense. This is very much a zone scheme, solid zone scheme. Combination of vets and young guys. Hayward, he been playing forever. They got some new guys in there. Patrick Queen coming from the Baltimore Ravens. They got the linebacker that we wanted out of NC State. Was it Peyton Wilson, the rangy guy? He's playing. As you know, the main concern that we really need to have for this defense, TJ Watt. He is a problem. He is a nuclear level threat player. He's a player on the same caliber as Micah Parsons. His name is always in the defensive player of the year conversation. Matter of fact, he in my opinion, he could easily win it these past years. Only thing that's kept him out is injuries. This is a guy who's very, very versatile. Some things against this defense I've seen, a strong back end, but there's along with them being a zone scheme team, there's vulnerabilities in their zone, man. And their linebackers, they get lost in space, especially in covering. And these so they don't really get enough depth sometimes, or they get too much depth sometimes. They don't really have a feel of this zone as of yet, and that's one thing I've noticed with that. And yeah, let's go right into the trenches report. As you know, if you watch my channel, I am firmly 100% the idea. I believe the game is won in the trenches on both the offensive and defensive side. Whether you've seen it in the game, of the momentum where the momentum spark, and where the team loses its will, it happens here in the trenches. So like I said earlier, with the offensive side, the offensive line is shredded with injuries, and with that, there's new guys. There's a turntable of guys coming in to replace, and with that, there's no continuity. With this team, continuity is very important. We're seeing it with our own offensive line, with the new guys we have, because of rookies. But just imagine if we had, injuries, and we had just guys that was on a practice squad coming in, or guys that just on the bench coming in and playing with, some starters. It's just a natural, continuity error. They're also wonky on the double teams. So hopefully Mozzie can carry over the game he had last year in defeating these double teams, defeating the one-on-one blocks, and actually neutralizing this run game, this run game, they have it. Also, as like I said, with the continuity, they have a lot of pass protection breakdowns, especially in that Colts game. They give up quite a bit of pressures and sacks. Like I said again, quite a bit of pressures and sacks, man. And the right side is really what I'm saying is the weak link of this number 66 and number 74, this offensive line. The offensive line, I think, is the weakest position group of the team. If I had any position group that's really slacking behind, the casual eye would say, oh, this quarterback. Well, Justin Fields has been doing pretty well, but it's actually the offensive line. They have really the reason why I believe we can't see the full, or if there is a limit to this offense. So, this would have been a great game to have Micah Parsons, but even without Micah Parsons, we still should be able to generate a pressures this way, and they're not powerful guys. They're a lot of hat on hat guys, placement guys. They'll get there and they're just there to, to shade. And if they get 2 to 3 yards on a carry, they're happy with it. But they're not guys that are gonna just uproot and move you out of the. I seen it a lot versus the Colts. They're not a team that's gonna maul you up front. So I thought that was interesting. Getting to their defensive line, like I said before, TJ Watt is very, very much the key that we should be paying attention to all game, because he lines up. He's a true edge. He is really what I believe we should have been playing Micah as, because it's the dream how they use him. Because we have Micah hand in the dirt. TJ Watt is truly a stand-up edge. He can move around freely. They allow him to use his instincts. He can, even if he doesn't get to the quarterback, he's getting his hand up. He's very athletic. We have to very much pay attention to that. One thing I did notice, their run defense is not very stout, especially in the interior. Shout out to Cameron Hayward, but I think the ages are very much catching up to him. I don't know if I'm the unpopular opinion on this, but my take is that their interior of their defensive line, the interior of their run defense with Queen, including Wilson, is very weak in my opinion, and it can very much be had. You know what I'm saying? So, and this ties in. I believe their rush lightens up tremendously if you have success running the ball on them, and yeah, like it's the when a good pass rush is natural enemy is the run game, because you just having them think. But with this team, I can see it in their rush. Their get off, it's just it slows down. It's not as effective as it is when they're as the game goes on, they get wore down. So let's get into the winning formula then. What is the winning formula for this football team? What is the winning formula for the Dallas Cowboys? For the offense, run the damn ball. Run the damn ball. And I do mean that. Run the ball. I want to see an emphasis to committing to the run game this game. The offensive line have a big task ahead of them. They're gonna have to be able to slow up and slow down TJ Watt. Like I said, one of the most perennial pass rushers in this league. Mike McCarthy. The key to doing that is not having your offensive line be on their heels all game, especially with your rookies. Allow them to attack the perennial player. Allow them to be the enforcers. Put pressure on this defense. Put pressure on this defense, because I believe if you do that, their linebackers are very, like I just mentioned, they're very vulnerable in space. And having them to take an extra step up, man, we should stop with the curls. Get the ball downfield. A lot of intermediate concepts will actually hurt this team because their zones are vulnerable. And I trust a quarterback like Dak Prescott, especially if a quarterback like Joe Flacco can tear them apart. So running the ball, if we can run the ball, we can demolish the infrastructure of this solid defense that they have. I very much so, and I am very confident we can do that. We had success last week. We just didn't commit to it. I wish we would have committed to it, and this offensive line is only getting better and better with cohesion, with continuity. So trust it. And with the defense, let's execute the disguises. I feel like this game is going to be very much for the defensive side, very similar how our game plan versus Deshaun Watson. Okay, what I mean by that, we want to make Justin Fields' arm beat us. We want to. Let's maintain integrity on our rushes. Let's get there. I know we're missing, some key rushes in Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, but if we should be able to generate pressure. If we can, execute the disguises, take away Justin Fields' first read, because like I said, he's a one-read quarterback. He tends to hold on to the ball. That's one of his, his weaknesses that will always, be with him wherever he goes. And this offensive line, I don't believe it can hold up. And obviously having pressures, mix up the blitzes. Let's get Donovan Wilson, let's get him in action. Let's use Overshawn. Let's take the necessary tools, okay? Let's continue. Let's stack these games now. This run defense, I see it trending in the right area. I hope with the losses it doesn't, take a big hit. But we should be able to be stout with this team. This team is not very powerful up front. We should, Mozzie, I'm looking at you. Let's adhere to the Mike Zimmer scheme, the Mike Zimmer philosophy. Let's do our job. Let's just take the cognitive wheel. Let's play a full, complete game. I believe we can do that with proper coaching, with proper discipline. We can do that. Okay. And lastly, completely take away Pickens. Completely take away Pickens. I'm talking about completely. What let the Steelers back into the game versus the Colts was Pickens getting behind, and mind you, the Colts were all over the Steelers, but it was that one play that opened it up for them. Okay, if we can put Diggs, let him shadow, let him follow Pickens, and completely take him out the game, because that is the only source of explosive play they have for this team, for this football team. Well, Cowboys Nation, that's been my time, man. I love you all, man. Hey, make sure to like and subscribe to the video for more content like this. We're gonna be going live with this week. So yeah, stay tuned, man. Until next time, peace.